What's going on, y'all? It's your man, point guard Stephen Bardo, coming back to you with another live edition of Next Chapter Forward. Today, we're going to talk about the exclusive citizenship bill that was put to Congress by Republican Senator Moreno. I can't remember his first name, but it's a Republican senator out of Ohio that basically states if you have dual citizenship, this bill, if it was enacted into law, would force you into making a decision about the citizenship that you want to choose. So if you're a dual citizen, you'd have a window of time to make the declaration for whichever country that you want to have your citizenship in, and you have to renounce the other citizenship. So it was introduced last December, and right now it is not in the Senate, it's not in the Congress. It's just a bill that's, that's been rendered, that's been submitted, but there hasn't really been any movement on it. And one of the things that I noticed because of the long form video I did on Monday, getting a lot of feedback on that, and I wanted to talk about that today. So if you hear this hum, I'm in an Airbnb. I'm traveling right now. The headache of trying to get my Mexican temporary residency, guys, it's more than a notion. Okay, don't let people tell you that this process is easy, because it's not. If you do it, even with people that know what they're doing, it's still not clear cut. So, so trying to handle that, but that didn't go so well. But let's get back to this bill. The overall sense of these comments that this video got was that a lot of people didn't think that it would pass. So let me give you some examples. Okay, this bill sounds unconstitutional in contravention of the phrase life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness fits in which with the current status quo of animus. That's from our brother William Newberry, one of our free agents. And so William, along with Lynn, man, I gotta put my glasses on this because I'm looking on a Lynn Will 9946. He made a great point. Okay, too many congressmen have multiple passports. Hint, hint. Especially the ones that's pushing the bill. That I don't know that's this guy. Guys, here's a funny thing to me. I went back and looked up this guy Moreno, this Republican senator out of Ohio. He's Colombian born in Colombia, but he's pushing this initiative. These Latino adjacent white people kill me, bro. They're the ones that go so hard on racism, on anti-blackness, on anti-immigrant, minority. And these people kill me with that, man. Like, to come up with that kind of proposal that would limit people's choice of who they are. And the fact that he was born in Colombia and he's become a naturalized citizen of the United States. Now he wants to limit those opportunities. It just, the longer I'm living in Latin America, the more I'm learning. America might not be the most racist place. It really may not, because some of these people are, some, not all, some push so hard. They push a white agenda, a pro-white agenda, and an anti-everything else agenda. You will find that certain Latinos push that harder than white people. And Moreno seems to be one of them. And so, listen, here's the thing with these comments, and a lot of people are saying, what else? The bill has zero chance of passing. Too many of those in power have dual citizenship. Multiple people in Trump's family have dual citizenship. So, guys, here's the thing that here's an overarching theme that I want us to talk about. Please forgive me for that It's a humidifier because the unit I'm in is damp and this humidifier runs. So if you're hearing that, that's what's going on. But guys, here's the thing. You guys are making very good points in the comment section, but you're making one critical error, in my opinion. The United States is an unlawful republic. They're not following the Constitution. They're not following the laws. I give you a great example. In Florida, stand your ground law. I don't know if you guys heard about this story. This black family is having a family reunion. These two white people come up. They start shooting at them. A couple of brothers that's in the family are ex-Marine. They get their gats and they fire back. They killed one of the guys. Do you know that they are up for murder charges? Did you know that? So you guys quoting law and Constitution, the United States is not a lawful situation. It's not lawful. The laws pertain to everyone that's not white and not wealthy. That's who the laws pertain to. The laws don't pertain to them. That's a stand your ground state. Two guys come up shooting where kids and old people were there. It's a family reunion. You're going to have multiple generations. Two white guys come up shooting. Two brothers return fire. And they got charged with murder. So for you guys that are going to hold on to this notion that the Constitution matters, that law matters, I would argue it doesn't. I would argue it doesn't. And I know that's a tough mind reframe, but I'm telling you guys, it's for our benefit. When we look at these measures, like this exclusive citizenship bill, everything that they're doing in this administration with Project 2025 is to limit civil liberties, is to limit freedom of movement, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom of being in an RV and sleeping in an RV outside. That's starting to become illegal in a lot of places now. So the larger theme here, guys, where you may be right, this may not ever get enacted into law, but I want you guys to start thinking, especially you free agents. I want you to start thinking that the United States is not a lawful place. It's unlawful. So the things that we took for granted in the past for being in place and protections and things of that nature, they no longer exist. And so anything to me that limits options, limits mobility of U.S. citizens, that's going to be in favor of this administration. Don't think about them. Don't think about that blue country in West Asia that has a lot of dual citizenship in it. Don't think about that, because the rules are not going to apply to them. If they pass this law in the United States, the Trump family will be able to move as they always have moved. They'll be able to retain their dual citizenship. This is for the common person, guys. That's what I want you guys to understand. These measures that are being pushed currently with this regime, there's a word I'm looking for that describes the situation, and it's parallel societies. That's what it is. We're living in parallel societies right now, where the law applies to the majority of citizens, U.S. citizens, but then it doesn't apply to rich, wealthy, hardcore staunch Republicans who are MAGA. The laws don't apply to them, guys. That's the mentality and the message that I really want us to leave this discussion with. Okay? I want you guys to start looking at it and framing things the way that I do. Because I've read a little bit of Project 2025. And it's a lot. I believe it's 900 pages. But if you want to know what's going on, I highly suggest you look in and study it, because they're moving on. They're on progress. They're ahead of progress, actually, on Project 2025. They're ahead of progress. So the swift nature of change and the making us feel unstable because the support systems, the law, the Constitution, none of these things matter anymore. And so when the ground is shifting underneath you, you feel unsteady. You don't feel assured of yourself, and you hesitate. That's what this administration wants. They want you to hesitate. They want you to be paralyzed in fear. So guys, trust me now when I tell you that this bill, I don't know where it sits in terms of importance in the pecking order of what Project 2025 is, but best believe me, when it gets to that time, they will, as I said in the video, a lot of times this legislation gets written into something else that's kind of, it's inside of another bill that gets pushed through that we don't even know about. Okay? So that's the thing I really want us to consider here, guys. All right? This is not the America that you think it is. Even under this administration, it's still not the country that you think it is. It's the movie The Matrix. Some of you are taking red pills, some of you taking blue pills. And I can't remember which one is which, but the one that makes that steak taste better and that it makes everything look nice, 90 to 92% of Americans are taking that pill. And they want that old America to hold. That old America's gone, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion. Now, you may see it differently, and I respect your opinion. However, I'm seeing evidence of these things coming through. Okay? When Black people are charged for murder, for protecting themselves, when a young Black man, Black male, goes out with a group of white friends, he comes up missing and they have his phone. And they're like, oh, I don't know what happened. It's not the America, guys, that we thought it was. It's different. Okay? This is not the time to let your kids, if you're Black, this is not the time to let your kids be around white people unsupervised. It's not. It's just not. It's not advisable for you adults, you Black adults, to be in spaces where you're outnumbered greatly by white people. The young sister who was at a sorority, all white sorority, only Black girl there, she comes up dead. The guy just referenced, the young student athlete from Mississippi, I think they just found his body last night or something like that. The young girl in Florida, unalived via hanging. The young girl in Virginia, unalived via hanging. The young man in, Delta State, unalived by hanging. 2 Black teenage boys in Georgia, found along the side of the road, bodies mutilated. It's not the time, guys. This is a different America. Okay? All right. Let me get to some of these comments. What's happening, Kevin? Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Man, that adjacent whiteness from Hispanics is very prevalent in Los Angeles, mainly Mexicans, really anti-black. And Kevin, here's the thing. It's all propaganda. Let's go back to the history lesson. The the first black president in the Americas is from Mexico. Vicente Guerrero was president, a black man, in Mexico in 1820s. Runaway slaves from the United States, if they could get to the Mexican border, they were protected. So this recent animosity between Mexicans and black Americans is all propaganda. It's all propaganda. And Kevin, it just that white adjacent, it I mean, there are still some Latinos that still act this way even after Trump and his administration are doing what they're doing on the deportation side. They're still pushing this. Okay, now you notice the sound difference with this thing that goes off, and I can't control it, but whatever. I'm not going to complain. Let's see. I totally agree with you. The United States is unlawful. I fear I do not articulate my. No. You did, William. You articulated yourself. You know, I got you. Um, Carib, Caribbean. Caribbean. I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome, brother. I think this is your first time. I don't recognize that name. If it's your first time in the next chapter 4, welcome. Thanks for being here. Good afternoon, brother. Glad I'm catching you live. I sent you a message about visiting Playa. Okay. I'll check that out. If made to choose at this point, I would most likely renounce my citizenship. And William, you wouldn't be wrong if you did it. You really wouldn't be. Like, just the examples that I gave you guys earlier would make most people really think about it. Okay. So you're not wrong in that. What's up, Fernando? Good to see you, partner. Question: chances of the bill to pass. Fernando, that's a great question, man. I don't really know the answer to that. Our esteemed free agents who were commenting on the video on Monday, they made some great points. William Newberry, who's on here with us now, one of our free agents, he's making great points. If logic were to play out and that blue country in West Asia, they have a lot of dual citizens with that country and the US. That's a very good point that I didn't take into consideration. However, again, if we're going on the premises that we're in an unlawful place, then the laws will apply to the majority, not some of these other people. So the chance of the bill passing, I mean, I think it has a good chance to pass because it fits the narrative of Project 2025, which is to strip civil liberties from the citizens and to keep them almost caged and monitored at all times. Mexico, starting in 2027, cashless society. You heard that right. The country of Mexico is going cashless. In my opinion, when you go cashless, that is to track everything. So it's not just the United States that's on this surveillance tip. This is happening around the world. Okay? So, I think it has a good chance to pass, just based on the fact of how things have been going here lately. Man, these things are doubling up. More people want the blue pill. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, they want the blue pill because they want things to be smooth and nice and safe, and the steak to be real, and the chicken to be real, and all the food that they're getting not inflammation inducing, which is the case. Um, so yes, blue pill is what most people are trying to take. All right, CK Walcott. All right, let's see what you're talking about. My initial thought was no way it's passing, but after thinking about it, it's possible. I can see it being done with exemptions for special countries. There it is. See, now we talking, guys. You see what damn, man, my eyes. I can't see off. I usually do the lives off of my desktop. I'm on my iPad because I'm traveling. So uh CKD Walcott, see the exceptions. You see what he just said? So Fernando, with this being said, now can you see the chances of this bill having a better chance to pass with what CKD Walcott just said? That's spot on. Thank you for sharing that. Red is unadulterated reality. Blue means the state tastes good. Yeah, I'm on that red pill, William, and um, I don't know. I would like to think there are more people like me, but I think there's more people the other way. Uh, let's see. Gabriel Stevens. The government wants all of us different races to be disconnected as a society, in my opinion. Gabriel, I agree with you. A divided country is a lot easier to control than a united front who will fight against oppression and tyranny, because that's what's happening. So I agree with you there. This is your first time. Welcome. I don't recognize you. Maybe you've been on here before. I don't know if I've seen your name before. Kurt, I'm really interested in Ply coming down in August for a couple weeks. Let's connect. Yeah, let's do that. Because Kurt, I think you got like Caribbean barbecue. We need to talk. Don Worldwide, what's good, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So, guys, let's recap, okay? This bill, I'm gonna recap it again. Oh, come on now, boy. I am so happy, guys, that I am maturing because I've had a very challenging day and I'm still smiling. But I digress. We're talking about the Exclusive Citizenship Bill brought to Congress by Republican Senator Moreno. And this bill would force people who actually have dual citizenship. You would get a window of time to make a decision on which country you're going to ride with. Okay. According to them, no more dual citizenship. But Mr. Walcott broke it down. And he says at first he didn't see it happening, but now he said there would be exemptions, certain countries that have exemptions, kind of like what we're seeing now, right? So I just think that this is something that I want you guys to pay attention to. And the flip side of that is that while the U.S. is cracking down, Ghana and Benin and countries like that are trying to roll out the red carpet. So in the video, I think I fixed it, but in the original video, I said that Sierra was married to Russell Westbrook. It's Russell Wilson. So I apologize for that mistake. But the fact that Ghana and Benin have really opened up the door. Ghana has hundreds of Black diasporans that have come through. They started the year of return, which was 2019. And since then, they've suspended the program because they're trying to make it more accessible. But I think they've had close to 1,000 people take them up on that. Benin situation is a lot more recent. And I believe Sierra got hers middle of last year, that ceremony. So those are two countries in Africa that are being very aggressive about allowing any Blacks in the diaspora to come back and get citizenship. Now, with these citizenships, especially in Benin, you can't vote. You can't do some of the things that regular citizens have the ability to do, but you can, to my understanding, that you can apply for that later on down the line. Okay. But they're making it very easy for Black people to get their residency in these places. Okay. Now, I need to address something because Winky Williams, there it is, good brother. He started businesses, brother, I believe Winky's from Chicago. Winky started businesses in Ghana and Nigeria, and he loves it, right? In the video, I talked about my experience in Ghana, which wasn't all peaches and cream. A lot of it was. But what I noticed was that there was a driver, and I can't remember his name. Is it Dennis? No, Dennis is the one I liked. This guy I didn't like too much, and I can't remember his name because he was a jerk. But anyway, we're in the car. Me and they call her Auntie Teresa, is a sister who works at the University of Ghana in Accra. She's married to a Ghanaian brother who's done very well, so they're very well off. Auntie Teresa and me and the lady that I was dating at the time, who was with me on the trip, we were in the car, and I'm talking to the driver, and I said, "Yeah," I said, "So, y'all call us a brony, huh?" And he kind of laughed, and I said, "Well, why would you call us a brony?" I said, "A brony means foreigner, right?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "So that means that we're the same. You look at us the same as a white European?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "That's interesting." And he kind of laughed. Like he was laughing like with a smirk. And I said, well, who's driving? Who's riding? Who's driving? Okay. Cause I was ticked off. I had another Ghanaian cat try to beat me out on a money exchange. And we almost came to blows. And then he came back to his senses and gave me the rest of the money. But I had several situations where, even at Cape Coast, when we went to the slave castle, I told the guide, because it was only Black people it was me. There was this Haitian brother and an American sister. They were together. So it was us three. It was a family of 3 Black people, a father, mother, and daughter from London. So all of us have a Black tour guide on this slave, the slave dungeons. And guys, if you haven't been, it's more than a notion. But I told the guide, I said, "Look, I don't want no white people on this tour with me." And the other Black people kind of looked. I said, "Look, if I can't have it the way I want it in a effing slave dungeon exhibit, then give me my money back. I don't want no white people on this." So as we're on the tour, 2 or 3 white people tried to come up and join our group, and the guy told him, he's like, "No, this is a private group." All right. And so we did that. We get out of the slave dungeon, and as a guy like me, who I don't know if I'm an empath, but I feel energy. Like, I'm a serious energy guy. I can feel energy. Back tomorrow. And so, you come out of a slave dungeon and people are trying to make their living, but I mean, cats coming up to you trying to sell you stuff, trying to talk to you, and I'm trying to process it. And I told one guy, I said, "Hey man, can you just back up for a second?" And he kind of, he kind of took offense, and I was like, "Dude, I will bust you upside your head. Like, I know this don't mean nothing to you." And that's when I still thought that we were from there. I don't believe in that now. I'll get to that. But I was like, bro, I just came out of a slave dungeon and you up here talking crap about this little trinket. Get the F out of my face, right? No sensitivity whatsoever, right? Just trying to beat you out for a buck. And so in the video, I was critical of aspects of Ghana, and I'm not going back on that. I stand on that because I've been to Ghana twice, okay? And I felt this both trips. Now, the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians I met were super warm, super nice, super kind. But they don't see us the same. They don't see Black Americans like they see other Africans. We might as well be white Europeans to them. To me, there's no way we're from there. If that's how they view us, if you go to Africa right now, every social trend is influenced by you know who. So if they follow us on music, social trends, vibe, how to carry ourselves, the swag that we have, right? We influence all of that, but then when you get on the ground, they have a totally different view of you. Senegal was cool. It was great. But I had deep conversations with people in Senegal. They said the same thing. So I've been in Nigeria, Senegal, and Ghana twice. And so this is not just a Ghanaian perspective. This is a West African perspective. Those are three of the major countries in West Africa that I visited and spoken with people. In Nigeria, my Nigerian teammate brought me over there. I was with royalty. So I really got the lowdown. Okay? That's why I said what I said about Ghana. Overall, the people are great. You can live a fantastic life there as a Black American. Okay? But don't make the mistake that I made, that a lot of Black Americans make. We want to be accepted somewhere. Screw that. Accept yourself. Accept ourselves. We don't need acceptance from anybody. There's no going home or going someplace to where, oh, I'm back home. You're home. You're home right here in the United States. This is your home. You were here before Columbus got lost. You've been here. And if you would take, I encourage you guys to do this. If you're traveling to Africa, or if you may have people who are born and from the continent that might be in your family, talk to them about it. Ask them about it. It's one of the biggest things that it's yet another narrative that is, in my opinion, is total BS. All right. There are more pyramids. You heard me say that right. There are more pyramids in just the United States than in Africa, I believe. Or wait a minute. No, there are more pyramids in the United States than in Egypt. It's not even close. Now I'm getting that mixed up. But there are a ton of pyramids in the United States and in Mexico through Central and South America, all through that region. There are far more pyramids in the Western Hemisphere than there are in Africa and in that general area. Okay. But I would encourage you guys to speak with some people who are continental Africans. Pick their brain about it. See what they think. Ask them, should Black Americans come to South Africa, Ghana, Tanzania, Zanzibar, Kenya, Ethiopia, Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso? Should we go looking for a certain type of love that's eluded us here. I'm here to tell you guys, don't do it. Don't make the mistake, because that's a mistake I made. Okay? So, with that being said, that doesn't mean that I don't want to go to a country in Africa and get residency. I do. Because guys, I think it's important to collect residencies. That's why I'm breaking my freaking neck to get this Mexican residency. When I calm down, I have to do a video on that. It's anyway. I think it's important because again, guys, I make projections based on the information that I get and the fact that things are getting cashless society, increased scrutiny coming in and out of the country, limits on visas, different things. Like, things are changing all the time, guys. And so it's very, very important that you think about these things moving forward if you're interested in relocating out of the United States. Okay. They used to do things in silence and behind the scenes. Now they do it right in your face and say, oh, well, we can do whatever we want and you don't matter. Spot on. Spot on. No, I'm in total agreement with that. Gabriel, thank you. This is your second time watching. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. What's good? Blessings. That's an interesting question. Could Mexico and Asian countries be exempt due to resources being constantly bought and sold? That's something to think about, because here's the thing. If this administration feels like there's a way to capitalize on one of those countries or something like that, then it could very well be the case. Guys, again, we need to think of the U.S. for what it really is. It's a kleptocracy. They're stealing so much money. Trump made $1.2 billion in 2025 in crypto alone. I'm going to repeat that. The president, not a corporate CEO, not a corporate chief financial officer, not an investor. The president made 1.2 billion with a B. We're living in a kleptocracy. These people are stealing and robbing the country for its last bit of resources. No country has lasted longer than 250 years as the dominant country in the world. And you all know that the U.S. just celebrated its 250th anniversary. This is late stage capitalism. This is the last stand of this republic. And so, guys, when countries like this get desperate, they do desperate things. Like go in and start messing with Iran, and then all of a sudden you're in a little deeper than you thought. And now you're up against an adversary that has been planning for you for 20 years. So Iran's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. When these conditions are coming about, guys, we're in a super El Nino. The craziest weather patterns we've seen probably in our lifetime. That's going on. The Ukraine-Russia war has intensified. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. They're bombing the crap out of each other. That's intensified. The rest of the NATO countries in that area are fearful of a possible attack from Russia. We're talking Poland and Finland, I believe. Poland and Finland were the two countries that were mentioned. All right. So we talked about the weather. We talked about the wars going on, right? We're in a housing bubble. We're in a housing bubble. We're in a credit card debt bubble. We're in an automobile bubble, right? And this Kevin Warsh, the new head of the Federal Reserve Bank, was very smart in that he just didn't drop rates so that inflation goes crazy. But I thought he was going to come in and do exactly what Trump wanted him to do, and he didn't, which surprised me. Okay. There's so many things going on right now, guys, that I want you to start thinking about these things and filtering them through your decision whether you want to be, whether you want to remain in the country or whether you want to have options to leave the country for a while, come back, or you just want to relocate like full time. I want you to really start to, filter your decision making with all of these things lined up. Guys, the earthquakes in Venezuela, the volcanoes going off. There's a ring of fire. Are you guys familiar with it? It goes up the west coast of South America, comes up, hits Baja California, goes up the coast, comes along, and then it arcs back into the Pacific. It's called the Ring of Fire because all these volcanic mountains are connected, and they're all starting to go. All these earthquakes are happening. These volcanoes going off. The worst climate crisis in our lifetimes. World wars going all over the place, right? And we've got domestic terrorism going on. We've got that stuff that melts. They haven't gone anywhere. They're still around, still doing their thing, still snatching people. Filter all of these things that are going on all at once that are swirling with your ability to get out of here or to move freely back and forth. Just consider that. William, cashless society should concern you because what happens is if you've got screw it. If you've got a central bank digital currency, a CBDC, those were thought to be the most evil thing because what happens is they've run some tests in China and they've got a digital yuan, I believe. And what happens is they started issuing these digital yuans to some of the citizens as a test run. What happened is they would give a certain amount of money to people, and you had to spend it by a certain day or you lose it. This is what William is talking about. So guys, when they go cashless and they start to go digital, you guys really need to be up on your cryptocurrency information. And I've been very reluctant to bring that up because that puts me in the light of folk. Go learn cryptocurrency. If you guys want to get on a call with me, I'll give you the basics. But you do not want to go the next 6 months to a year without having any involvement in cryptocurrency, guys. That's where it is. It's not going there. That's what it is. The DTCC. Most of you have not heard of what the DTCC is. They're the clearinghouse for $1.3 trillion of transactions. Is it daily or weekly? These are huge backroom companies and organizations that are basically clearinghouses for money exchange situations. These people are going to Stellar, the XLM project, XRP is being used. Aave, AAVE, is the largest DeFi platform that's being utilized. All these projects are they're undergirding the financial rails of the world, guys. It's here. It's not coming, it's here. And when this Clarity Act passes, which they're really pushing for, I think it could be up for vote at the end of July. If they don't do it in July, I think they have to wait till October. It's gonna get passed. And when it does, they're gonna flip the switch. So you guys need to get up on your cryptocurrency information, because these cashless societies, that's what they're gonna be. They're gonna be utilizing stable coins. Let me go back. Let me finish what I was gonna say about the CBDC in China. When they ran this test, they gave out a certain amount of money to a certain group of citizens. And they told them, you got to spend this money before a certain amount of time. Now, I don't know whether they couldn't take it and switch it to another coin so that they could save it if they wanted to, but it sounded like they weren't able to really save anything. They had to do it or these coins would expire. That's utopian like control, and that's where we're headed. So you're spot on to be concerned about that, William. No, thank you. I appreciate that, Earl. Yeah, Earl, I appreciate that. No, I'm not going to be calling college basketball anymore. Because here's the thing, guys. I've talked too much crap about the country. They would never put me back on a national network. Somebody would go back and find something I've said and they bring it to the network. They get in trouble. So even if I wanted to, which I don't, I miss the game itself. I miss the camaraderie of talking to the coaches and talking to the new players coming through and supporting them, meeting their families. I love that aspect of it. But the travel, going to certain places where Big Ten universities are located, no, I'm good. But thank you for that. I appreciate that. What will happen to U.S. during downfall? Um, John Deere tractor. Your thing indicates that you may not be black. Is that right? If you comment again, John Deere tractor, of who you are, I'll answer your question. But I don't I don't know that I want to get into that. A future state? What do you mean by a future state? Oh, I totally think they're coordinated, William. I totally think they're coordinated. Those Venezuela earthquakes, 25 minutes apart. The government has technology to start those. They've had the ability to do weather modification. They've had the ability to do a lot of different things that they're now utilizing that we still don't even know about. So I definitely think these are coordinated attacks. No question about it. Yes. Yes. Geechee Dan, I believe the earthquakes in Venezuela, just like the big one in Haiti, were caused by the US. Google Hart. Same thing William said. Same thing, guys. I've been planning our relocation for the last 7.5 years. Already bought a house in Playa del Carmen. I hold dual citizenship, so Mexico is a great place for us. Fernando, man, congratulations, man. I didn't know you had bought a house already. Congratulations. I look forward to meeting you. When let me know the next time you're going to be down there. I'd love to connect with you and chop it up with you. Congrats on that, man. Okay, I think crypto will be used to crash the entire US financial markets to put us in a depression. Okay, Geechee Dan, here's where I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. We're already in a depression. Don't look at the stock. Don't look at the Dow Jones and all that. That stuff is so misleading because it's highly manipulated. It's the oil prices, the silver and gold prices. These are all being tremendously manipulated. We're in a depression right now. Here's what I've read and what I think they're going to try to do. Geeky Dan, you keep hearing this term called uh, come on, damn it. It's not monetization. It's tokenization. That's it. They want to tokenize everything. So if there is a physical US stock, they want to tokenize that US stock with cryptocurrency. So here's what I think, Geechee Dan, is their plan. They want to tokenize this $38 trillion of debt. They want to tokenize that, have these stable coins hold these US treasuries to pull all of that debt into these stable coins, where these stable coins buy the US treasuries and pay off all this debt. Now, I don't know the viability of it. I don't know if it will even work, but this is what I've heard that they were going to attempt to do. Man, you guys are always sharp though. You're always on it. Regarding the events in Haiti and Japan and in the Fukushima event, I know other nations have had the capability as well. Yep. A Boogie Heart Machine. Yep. Oh, wow. Ask Obama about HARP. He and the Clintons will give you all the details. BG Intentional. Good to see you, brother. Thank you. What's up, Poetic Queen? I'm in Maryland, and there are lots of AI data centers that we are fighting to not have built here. This is information about the forever chemicals that are released from these places. Poetic Queen, thank you. Because we don't even talk about the chemicals. We're talking about the water that these places utilize. We're not even talking about the things that are the byproduct of these centers. That center that was put in the black neighborhood in Memphis is causing all kind of health issues in that local community. So Poetic Queen, keep up the fight out there, sister. Keep Maryland safe and healthy as much as you can. There are so many varieties of cryptocurrency. How do you determine which to buy? Rodney, you determine it based on your investment objectives. Do you want to save money? Do you want to grow money? Do you want to have money like, okay, let's take, for example, people live off dividends as income. So I've got a couple of friends that actually do this. They've compiled enough money into stocks and their investments that they pull a monthly amount off of those in the form of dividends that pay for their lifestyle. And they never touch the principal. The principal continues to grow, or in certain cases, they'll reinvest those dividends. So for guys that are my age who are upper 50s, 60s, we start to look for income producing investments because we want to smooth out our living expenses and have our investments that we've stocked away continue to grow without touching the principal, if that makes sense. Okay. So Rodney, I don't know where you are in life. I don't know whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And so that will determine which cryptocurrencies that you want to buy. Okay. If I can get 5 people in the comments that put crypto in the comment, I'll come back and either do a live training on it, or I'll do a full video on it. If I can get 5 people in the comments to type crypto in the comments, I'll come back and do a workshop like situation to break down the so-called blue chip cryptos, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, USDT, USDC. These are blue chips. I can do that if you guys want, but I need at least 5 cryptos in the comments. Even if you're watching this on replay and you put crypto in the comment, if I get 5 of them, I'll go ahead and do like a breakdown. Thank you for your question, Rodney. That's a good one. Where have you been that you would advise if interested in relocation? Earl, again, it depends on, do you want hot weather? Do you want temperate weather? Would you like the beach? Do you want the mountains? Do you want the city? Do you want a smaller area? Do you want to have to learn a new language? Do you want to be able to speak? I'm assuming you speak English. Do you want to continue speaking English? If you do, Belize is a great location. Playa del Carmen, Mexico is a great location because a bunch of the brothers that are in the group, they don't know no Spanish. And they've been down there for years. They don't know any Spanish. They know a little bit, but not a lot. Ghana, English speaking. Kenya, English speaking. South Africa, you can get away with English. I'm trying to think. Panama is kind of iffy. You need to know some Spanish in Panama. You definitely need to know some Spanish in Panama. Definitely Spanish in Dominican Republic. I think Thailand, you're okay. Malaysia, you're okay. Philippines, you're good. So those are the countries. So that's just one criteria, Earl. That's why me being a transition architect with Next Chapter Forward, I help Black men over 50 relocate out of the country. And so in order for you to figure out the countries that you're looking for, you need to sit down with someone like me. Not you, it can be me, but if it's not me, someone like me that can break down these different areas that you want to focus in and get clear on in order to help you figure out which countries that you're interested in. So go to my bio. In my bio, there's a thing that says Global Scouting Report. It's in my links. It's in my link tree. It's the first entry on the link tree, Global Scouting Report. Click it. It will take you to a quick quiz. It's very simple. It's 8 questions. It takes 2 minutes. It gives you your readiness score to relocate. You'll either be a dreamer, a planner, a packer, or ready to relocate. Okay? This is what I want you to do, Earl. Go to my bio, get your Global Scouting Report. Okay? All right. What countries outside of Mexico are good for Black people? I've got something called Find Your Country in 72 Hours. It's a $17 PDF guide. If you don't want to get on a call with me, I would suggest you check that out because we highlight the 10 countries where Black Americans have had success relocating. There's 10 that we highlight. Among them, Costa Rica, Panama, Mexico, Ghana, South Africa, Thailand, Philippines, Colombia, Brazil, and maybe Portugal. There's 10 countries in that guide. And that guide will help you figure out your country based on your lifestyle, your monthly budget, and what you're looking for. That's also in that link tree. Find your country in 72 hours. It's a $17 PDF. It's the best $17 that you can invest in yourself. My thoughts on FBA buying a huge plot of African land to live in and start their own future FBA African state. Hey man, I'm all for it. You know, Geechee Dan, I've had a dream to get 500 Black Americans that were on the same page to approach one of these countries, and would be very easy to do because there are autonomous regions around the world, meaning there are self-governed entities that are inside of an existing country. So, for example, the Zapatistas, I think that's what they're called. And what is that? It's a region in southern Mexico, and they have their own laws and rules. They work with the Mexican government, but they have their own situation, their own laws, their own customs that you have to abide by when you go over there. 500 Black Americans that are on the same page who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, preferably having a career behind them, so that when you approach a country, you say, we have 500 able-bodied people who can add to your education, can add to your business community, can add to your volunteer situation, can add to your medical situation, whatever it may be. You approach the government of that country and say, we want tax abatements. We want, give us a tax break for how many of years, give us a break on purchasing some land. Or if we integrate within your country or community, can we sit down with you to help identify where we can bring value? Because this right here, Geechee Dan, I get it. And if you go buy your own land and future FBA African state, I get it. But to me, that sounds like gentrification. That sounds like what a lot of Europeans do when they go to a place. They want to congregate amongst themselves, and they want to bring America, they want to bring mainland America to Puerto Rico, or they want to bring mainland America to Mexico. That happens all the time. I'm not sure that part, I know that's a little bit off the topic, but I would be sensitive to that. So, hey, if they can pull it off, God bless them, seriously, because it's a great idea. I've had something similar. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I guess I'm doing a crypto thing then. Okay. Thank you guys. Silent Gainer, Noi, Be Noi. All right, well, see, you know what, guys? Maybe me and Geechee Dan get on together and do it. And we just have a discussion and have you all discuss with us. Maybe we'll do that next Wednesday. Geechee Dan, I'll reach out to you and let's just compare notes ahead of time so that we're not stepping on each other's toes. But let's give some true value to our community. Thank you all for doing that. So that I'm gonna write myself a note. Next Wednesday is gonna be the crypto breakdown. Okay. I've been up on Belize since 2002. Google Chuck Johnson of Soul Beat TV, the first 24/7-hour streaming TV channel in the world in Oakland, California, and it was Black owned. Wow. That's deep. I didn't know that. That's great information there. Thank you. Yeah, Geechee Dan, this is for everybody. My email is steven.bardo@gmail.com. STEPHEN.BARD. Hold on. I'm just going to type it in here. All right. I just put my email in the comments. Steven.bardo@gmail.com. That goes for any of you. If you got any questions, you can hit me up. Okay. What's the deal with Portugal? Seems to me too many people in Spain have a very cozy relationship with racism, and Portugal's right next door, plus their historic relationship with the slave trade. Portugal has been a fantastic destination for Black Americans. There are several hundred Black Americans that are doing very, very well. In Portugal, hold on, Portugal is one of the OGs in terms of attracting Black Americans to relocate. Um, Spain is, I like Spain but I was a professional basketball player there, so obviously my perspective was different. The Iberian Peninsula is generally pretty good. Spain and Portugal is generally pretty good to Black Americans. Now to Africans, no. Africans get treated like dirt in Spain. I've seen it. Italy, I've seen it. Portugal seems to be a little bit different in that the Black Americans that have relocated to Portugal have qualified for the golden visa. And so financially they're stable. But even that visa situation is changing as well. So Portugal has been a great one. There is a couple, and they started this FIRE movement, financially independent, retire early. This brother from the Bay Area, him and his wife and his two daughters have been in Portugal now for the last 8 or 9 years. And he was kind of the first one that I started following back in 2017, of making that move to Portugal and why it was so advantageous for Black Americans. He was just advising Americans to look at it, but he's a Black American himself. Why would a European country be recommended as relocation destination for Black people? And I did say, I said Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines. They're in South Asia. Are you non-Black? Are you white? Is that why you're asking this question? Uh, I like Spain also. I was referring to see police officers not profiling me. I was in Granada, Salamanca, and Madrid. Yeah, I mean, I Spain and Portugal were chill to me. Now I know that there's anti-blackness all over the world. I think we all understand that. It, but it doesn't feel good though. Even though we understand it, still doesn't feel good. I visited Spain, had a pleasant time. That was about 20 years ago. Over the last 5 to 10 years, I've heard more and more about folks considering Portugal. Yeah, Kevin, Portugal is one of the OGs, like Portugal, South Africa, um, and obviously other like Kenya, Ghana. Ghana was kind of I would say South Africa, Portugal close second, and Ghana third. Were in the when I started paying attention in 2015 to the relocation people, the Black travel content creators. Those were kind of the three top places that people were talking about then, and it's pretty much the same. That those areas are really good. Um, William, you would advise Black people. Now I know you are big on Holland. That's where you want to relocate, William. But are you like for Black people? Norway, Finland, Sweden, Bosnia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, and parts of Greece. I don't know, William. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. Uh, I appreciate you just Just Virgil. When I went to Costa Rica, people treated me really well, very chill. Infrastructure needs a little work though. And it just depends on what part of Costa Rica you go to, because some have very high levels of infrastructure, but I know what you're talking about. I've been to Jaco and uh, what's the capital city of Costa Rica? Not Cologne. Oh, shoot. I can't remember the capital city, but but Jaco was cool, but I know what you're talking about, the infrastructure. Costa Rica's wonderful, guys. Wonderful. All right. Well, it looks like I got to all my questions. You guys, thank you so much. Hold on, we got another one. San Jose. Thank you, Kevin. That's it. San Jose. San Jose is a cool city. But I know what you mean about the infrastructure. But Costa Rica, in terms of pura vida, because that's the slogan there, pura vida, Puravida, pura vida, pure life, live life. Costa Rica is all that. Um, oh man, yeah, somebody else told me about this, Geechee Dan. I gotta go check this out. Uh, Frustrated or frustrated? Is the documentary Frustrated or Frustrated? But this is great insight, Geechee Dan. Thank you. All right. Whoa. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you like for the brothers. I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. You know what, Mr. Walcott? I did a video on that, and people skewered me because I was saying how, as a Black American, that's gonna make me think twice about South Africa, because and I had several Black Americans from South Africa like, oh, you shouldn't say that. You don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't know what I'm talking about, because when there's black on black crime, and I'm not from that country, I don't know the nuances of what's going on. I'm supposed to think that I'm going to walk over there and be safe. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's what I think, right? So the uncertainty would give me cause to pause. That would make me hesitate about South Africa. Just straight up, I ain't gonna front. Uh, um, okay. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. You guys have been great as usual. And next Wednesday, we're gonna do the crypto breakdown next Wednesday. So Geechee Dan has my email. He's gonna email me. We're gonna make that happen. Go get your global scouting report if you haven't already done so, guys. It's only 8 questions. It takes 2 minutes, but it gives you a score of your readiness, and you get on the email list. Okay. All right. Hold on. We got another one. Just Google AI Grease. He made the documentary on Flustery. Okay, will do. All right, guys, you take care of yourselves. Have a great day. Keep smiling. Tell your family that you love them, because it's very important. All right. You guys take care. Until next time, holla, y'all.